Hey, this is Terry at Vorshlag. We got a lot going on in the shop this week. I'm just going to show a couple of things we're working on. Right here is Jamie Beck's 2013 Mustang GT. Ryan's in the car right now doing the final welding on the cage. We'll come around and show you some more angles of what's going on. All right, back here we've got the new wing mounts we've made. This is an A.J. Hartman Racing carbon fiber 14-inch cord, 68-inch wide carbon wing. We made these uprights out of aluminum. They were CNC plasma jet cut, and they've been hand worked to have a knife edge on the rear, bullnose on the front, anodized black. The brackets here on the trunk are custom made out of steel, real thin steel plate. We'll probably make a run of these. We can make a laser cut of these in a fixture and weld them up. And this bolts to the trunk here. We're going to do some trunk reinforcement later. The end plates we've got here are a little bit bigger than would typically come with the A.J. Hartman wing. We're trying that out. There's some different series we watch that use larger end plates like this, and you don't want the air to bleed off the bottom of the wing. That's where most of the work is actually happening, and so they're a little bit bigger on the bottom than you normally see. These are going to be painted white. A couple different iterations that Ryan went through, and we like that one the best. Here Ryan's trying to get in place. He's got the plinth blocks out of the front of the cage, so it's dropped down. That's how you get to the top of these joints to weld them. And we're going to, of course, TIG weld the whole cage. That's how we do cage work here. It's all tacked in the car now. So he's TIGging that side. You can see how tight he gets all the joints on the supports. This is 1 3/4 120 wall DOM tubing, and some of the optional pieces are 1.5 DOM. And you can see the door bars here. Again, the front plinth blocks have been removed. That's this piece right here, and it drops the whole cage down so that you can get to the tops. Normally this is tucked up a lot tighter to the roof, and I'll show that once he's done welding. And you can see what's going on back here. A lot of tubes. He's got to cut each tube out back at this node so they can be fully welded, and then he'll put each tube back in. There's multiple tubes that go there, including a roof bar and more diagonals in the back. All right, here we got Jerry Seco's 2012 Boss 302, and he had a factory battery in the car since the day it was new. He finally killed it. It started smoking and spattering. You see a little bit of acid splash back here. So we're going to clean that up. Instead of putting a big 35-pound battery back in it, we're going to build an aluminum battery tray replacement that fits this 14-pound Odyssey PC680. We've put a lot of these in a lot of different cars. I've got one of these with my Mustang. Works great. Olaf's going to get this one built. We'll take measurements off of his final assembly, and we'll make a run of these soon. All right, here you can see a MagnaFlow exhaust on the C4 Corvette race car. We really like MagnaFlow products. We use them wherever we can. Stainless steel, beautiful quality, manual bends. We use our cats, mufflers, entire systems, good stuff. Got a little ducted hood on this Corvette, something that Ryan and Olaf built. Came out really nice. All right, we got an FD RX-7 in the shop this week. Olaf's building a new exhaust system for the car, integrating a wastegate. It's got a Force Performance turbo, single turbo conversion. He's going to 3-inch downpipe, and it's going to tie into the back of the exhaust and going to integrate the wastegate dump as well. He's also making a couple of tabs here to hold this custom air box on. It's a V-mount, so the radiator's down there at a much lower angle. Intercooler's up here, and it's got its own separate intake here. We didn't design this, we're just kind of trying to make it a little bit better. This is a road race car, and at high speeds it's lifting that box. It's coming off of the intercooler. All right, we got Jamie Beck's Mustang moving right along. Cage is in. A lot of the final welding's done at the roof line and a lot of these upper nodes, and each one of these had to be cut off to be welded in place. We still haven't finished welded because there's still some taco gussets we're going to do here, and then along the A pillar here we're going to have some gussets that'll tie in. Ordered some new dimple dies. They'll be here tomorrow. Meanwhile, Ryan is fitting the dash around the FIA bar and the main down bar at the A pillar, and it's looking pretty good. Back in this corner you can see the little defroster box and some brackets he built. Got it kind of low down on the passenger side, and the hoses will come up and go to the defroster vents, and most of the dash structure is not going to be there anymore. We've got a dash bar that's not welded in place right now, but that will go across, and we're going to tie into a couple of key points on the dash itself. All right, looking at some other S197 cages, it was obvious where they cut the dash in half and how you pick it back up. There's some nutserts there and along the top, and that's where they do the split at. And this is all this is covered up by other panels, and you'll see that there's already a factory split line there. So it'll fit back together pretty nicely when it's all done. I'll show that in the next video. This is the big monstrosity we're trying to pull out and not reuse. It's fairly heavy. This is probably about 40 pounds. We'll reuse the stock column, but we'll make our own mounts here. Our dash bar will replace this multi-sized bar here, and we'll make a couple of these little brackets to tie into the dash structure itself. Plenty of BFG rivals around here this week. All right, these are some of the pieces that will fill in those gaps along that split line in the dash, so it never will be visible. This, of course, is the factory HVAC box, about 21 pounds of crap, and all of these vents are going to be removed as well. It's another few pounds. So the goal is just to get as much weight out as we can, but keep it functional. It's already got really nice seats, so those will go back in. Yeah, the shop's really crowded. We're double stacking every lift at night. We can get about 11 cars in here. The new shop will have twice the room in the shop, so we can hopefully get twice as many cars in. All right, here's the sheets for the end plates. We cut out templates before, and we're going to go shear this today. And these will be painted body color white. So some good progress on this cage this week. All right, so this is a battery bracket that Olaf's been making for the S197 Mustang. This will go in place of the factory battery tray. It's made to fit an Odyssey PC680 battery. We love these things. We use them in everything. They're 14.7 pounds. This piece will go over the top, and we'll bolt down through these with countersinks. These two countersinks will bolt to two factory holes in the chassis. Should be nice and stout. Yeah, there's countersinks on the bottom side here. He's just waiting on the lathe, which Brad is fixing, to whittle out a couple of pieces of tubing, which we'll thread and make an all nice final deal. So this thing was pretty nasty. Brad cleaned that up today. Whole shop is kind of nasty, but we had about 4 or 5 more weeks, and then we'll be moving to the new shop. We can't wait for. Here's a motor from HK Racing Engines, 5.7 aluminum, fully built motor, cleaned up, worked heads. Should be nice in the FRS. Bunch of tubing right here for the cages we're doing. We got 3 cage jobs kind of stacked up. We've got the motor mounts, of course, in the car, transmission crossmember. We've done a lot of work. It doesn't look like it, but there's a lot going on here. Starters in place. So we'll take that motor I just showed you, we'll put it in here. We've got all the brackets, flywheel clutch, pressure plate is all here. That just showed up. So the Fidanza flywheel spec, stage 1 clutch, ARP flywheel bolts, and should be nice once that's all said and done. Can't wait to get this thing started. All right, that's it for this week. Tune in next week for another What's Going On at Vorshlag video. See ya.